What is up, everybody? Turboverse here today, and we're gonna talk about Sony fanboys crying about the Square Enix losing their getting rid of their exclusivity deals with PlayStation, and these Sony guys are so butthurt about this. Now, I did the video earlier talking about this. I was really just saying people just happy about this decision because people just hate that the multi-platform game is only stuck on one system for a lot of their games. But now I'm seeing the Sony fanboys are crying about this. I guess they no longer feel special that the Square Enix, which is a multi-platform developer, is no longer doing exclusive deals with PlayStation, and I guess they feel angry about this decision. I don't know, they're butthurt, but just hilarious. We have a journalist, Paul Tassi, who works for Forbes, just delivering the news that Square Enix is done with PlayStation exclusivity after the profits start to drop. The Sony fanboys are all in this comment section crying and complaining about this nonsense. It's like, really? Don't you want the best for Square Enix? I guess not. They just want only their games to be on PlayStation. Well, that's not enough. You guys didn't support the games enough, so complain to your fellow Sony fanboy and not Square Enix because they need to make money at the end of the day, and you guys are not buying enough exclusives. So, sucks to suck, I guess, but hey, we gonna get these Final Fantasy games on Xbox, is all I really care about. And they're gonna be on Switch and PC too, so I guess you should be more butthurt about this. But yeah, people were saying the most craziest comments. Like, this is one comment that he responded to. Somebody stated that, okay, but you know that Rebirth and 16 saved Square according to Eurogamer, right? Both exclusives. Now, where is this nonsense that 16 and 7 saved Square Enix? These have been some of the lowest reporting Final Fantasy games that they have had released. Both these games didn't do as well as like the other previous Final Fantasy games. Especially a big line, mainline game like Rebirth, where you got the head characters, Cloud and his gang. That game flopped. That game, well, not flopped, so to say, but it didn't do that well sales-wise, so it didn't save anything. So Paul Tass responded and says, plus high development costs, what games would you imagine at those costs? And do you think sales may have increased by more than 3% without exclusivity? And yes, the multi-platform decision came after the profit drop. Bring it on the community note, I don't care. Yeah, it's like I would say would sell more if they want more systems. It's just common sense at that point, but Sony fanboys don't get it. They are delusional about their console of choice, and they legit think that, hey, this game would not sell more if it was on PC, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. They think it's just not, it wouldn't change anything. They're just delusional. Then look at them. They're adding Twitter to do community notes like some Karens. Because they're mad that what are you trying to community note? The games that didn't sell as well as they intended, so they stopped doing the exclusivity deals. Like, what are you trying to community note here? Gonna be hilarious when they don't get much more sales because no, Square isn't as popular as a lot of people think they are. Their games are garbage. Final Fantasy is Halo irrelevant. And this is a kind of delusional post right here too. People would have bought Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth if they're on Xbox day one, but because they weren't, people aren't going to buy them. It's obvious. You only play them on PlayStation. It's like that just rub people the wrong way. It's like, why would you play it afterward when it's already been on another platform for almost a year or later? So I don't know. I don't know if this decision is going to make too much of a difference because of how long it's been just on PlayStation exclusively, but if they do it, it's like, oh, okay, but I'm not gonna rebuy the game if I've already played them on PlayStation, which they should just put it on the other consoles from the get-go. Had a lot more sales that way, but because they did what they did, the sales are probably gonna still decline. So we got a Sony fanboy right here saying, bad PlayStation. Nintendo, I don't even remember. I love writing biased opinions in Forbes to try to impose my visions, which you haven't noticed calmly. Sony is always to blame for the bad things that happen in the world. Oh, man. So if he literally reports the news, while they're making this decision, he's biased. Like, you can't make this up here, people. Obviously, the PlayStation exclusivity deal is not what's working out, so they're changing their business strategy. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's no bias here. Like, you guys didn't buy those games, and now they gotta change up their marketing tactics. They gotta put the stuff on different platforms now. But they had more exclusives on Nintendo. I heard some people saying the sentiments, but the games that was on Nintendo, it's not like they're the Final Fantasy games. It's the games that nobody cares about. Like, I think it was like Bravely Default was a game, sure, as a niche audience, but that's not the Final Fantasy stuff. That's not the big AAA stuff. So that Nintendo exclusivity, no one really cares about. Nobody was losing sleep over not having that on Xbox. People wanted the Final Fantasy stuff on Xbox. That's what people got angry over when they didn't see Final Fantasy Remake on Xbox. They didn't see 16 on Xbox. You know, that Bravely Default and other like niche stuff like that. No one cared about that not being on Xbox. So that's a moot point at that right there. Just get community noted already. So butthurt. You know they make Nintendo exclusives too, right? Who cares about their Nintendo exclusives? That's not the main line. That's not the steak. That's not the main encores. That's not the steak and potatoes. That's like you talking Nintendo stuff is just like some appetizer. That's not the main course right there. This has nothing to do with PlayStation. Can we get community notes here? Oh man, y'all gotta cry to Elon Musk to try to diminish this post right here because he got us an opinion you guys don't like. Oh man, I have never seen this many people butthurt. LMAO, you're supposed to be a professional journalist. What a joke! Why are they so butthurt and mad? Here they come. They're already here, and he's probably representing these butthurt Sony fanboys. I don't know why they're so mad. They're so mad that they didn't buy the game, and now the game has to be on other platforms. In which this is a multi-platform studio anyway. It's not like Sony bought Square Enix. They didn't buy the making an exclusive studio. There's a multi-platform studio. So why are you guys that butthurt about this? They never really was exclusive anyway. Only time exclusive at most, PC always had versions 1 or 2 years later on Steam. Recently did an Xbox version of Final Fantasy 14 though. New players at MMORPG, which I played since, so it's always welcome. Okay. Don't count on the Xbox platform to change their fortune. That's the key source right here. Xbox is getting these games now. We see the real reason why these people are butthurt. They're mad that Xbox games get to play these games. Oh man, it's just so pathetic. They're so mad. Look at all these dudes doing the community notes thing. Oh, they're so pathetic. This is literally like cry to the teacher, or like cry to your parents or something to say, hey, look at what this person did. Oh man, he hurt my feelings. Now he's an amateur journalist because he's reporting about the news. This is just hilarious. These guys are so butthurt and kind of like little babies in the comment section. It's a shame that PlayStation kids didn't support Square. That is one of the realest statements right there. If they had supported them, maybe they would have the exclusivity deals going further. But because they really didn't, Square Enix was not profiting off that deal right there. They're changing things up. You just pissed off all the PlayStation guys. Yeah, they're the only ones butthurt about this decision. Everybody else wanted this from the get-go. But the only people who are butthurt and crying about it is the PlayStation fanboys. Please, Elon, can we ban this engagement farmer? Oh man, touch grass. Touch grass at that point. You think Elon Musk cares about any of this nonsense? You're ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. This is almost as bad as people was adding the president about the whole Activision Xbox acquisition right there. That's just as bad. Jesus, there's no hope for game journalism. Oh man, just reading this is just so hilarious. They're just so butthurt. And there's more comments. There's so many more comments on being butthurt. Wow. It's like, you know, I haven't done one of these videos about Sony families just being so butthurt about something, but this is a good one because wow, they came out in full force over this decision from Square Enix, and they just show how butthurt they are. So he says 68% of Square Enix games have been multi-platform, 19% have been Nintendo exclusives, 30% have been PlayStation exclusives. Okay, it's a big difference when it's 13 and 19%, if that's even true. The 13% once again have been these big AAA Final Fantasy games that people want, that really, really want. But the Nintendo ones have been like the little low budget, like Nintendo, like handheld style games that people care that's on Nintendo platforms. It's a big difference. It's a real big difference. Like, when you compare Final Fantasy VII to the remake to Bravely Default, the average person is going to want Final Fantasy VII remake or Final Fantasy 16 compared to the other Nintendo Switch exclusive. So they want to keep using this stupid straw man, but they know what it is. People want the Final Fantasy stuff. They don't want the Bravely Default. Nobody lost sleep over the Bravely Default being on Nintendo. So that's a ridiculous like straw man right there. That's a reach right there. So let me get this straight. Square Enix released tons of games and most of it multi-platform. They said Final Fantasy 16 Pixel Remaster, 7 Rebirth are performing well. Did they? I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Rebirth had low numbers, so I don't know. They were just saying that just to save face, but I don't think they really was happy about 7 Rebirth performance-wise, but it's just me. Sony fanboys are not reading the article and then use a Zuby tech in order to communicate insanity. They are on his ass. Yeah, Sony fanboys are just relentless. The ponies in the comments are big mad. Okay, so this is the Zuby tech guy that was referenced. Let me see, what did he write? Sony talk about Square Enix as if they weren't already multi-platform because three PS5 exclusives out of 50 games released in 4 years. Okay, that doesn't really change anything. Like, once again, like, this is such a reach. Like, you know what games was on PlayStation versus what games were on Nintendo or whatever. They also want to keep on saying that, hey, most of the games are multi-plats, but the big games were on PlayStation. Let's cut the BS out. Like, the games people wanted were on PlayStation. Like, knock it off. I'm a massive Square Enix fan, but even I gotta say, going exclusive was silly with today's development costs. PC gaming seems to be getting more and more popular, so releasing on that should have at least been the standard years ago. Yeah. Only Sony fanboys believe that they should have just been exclusive, that the exclusivity deal was okay. I was like, no, it was terrible. No matter how way you want to cut it, it was terrible. Say it with me, console exclusivity is a bad thing. Sony or Xbox fan, you're effing stupid if you're angry about anything like this that happens. Consoles shouldn't have to rely on exclusivity to be good. Same goes for Bethesda/Xbox situation. Exclusivity is garbage. He says owned because these other games that no one cares about, like, really? Yeah, because people care about Foam Stars, which I thought that was a PlayStation exclusive right there. Which, Dragon Quest Monsters, all these other games are like super low budget games. They're big budget games they spent the most money on, were the PlayStation exclusives. So this is such a reach when people keep saying, hey, most of their games are multi-platform, so how could they be losing money? But no, they're big games. The games they spent the most money on were exclusive to Sony. So that's why they lost money. So This whole argument they're using is so stupid, but they're butthurt in the comment section. They're trying to use anything possible to go with, so it's just hilarious. But I've got to conclude it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.